Hello, everyone. If we can quieten our minds for another minute or two. Before we start our talk. Just settle the mind. Allow every thought to settle. Thank you for coming and finding some time to listen to this talk. Today, I would like to talk about a very important topic of Dhayana. Dhyan means focus, concentration. Why its importance? Because it's immensely important in our spiritual life and equally important in our day-to-day living. Buddha said that we are what we think, that all our thoughts arise and give us pain or pleasure. In the Bhagavad Gita, the scriptures, it says, man is made by his belief. As he believes, so he is. In the Sikh scriptures of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, it says, Sai vasta parapato hoi jit seti man laya. On whatever we focus, that we will receive. And many scriptures of the world agree on this sentiment. So what is Dhyan? It's a Sanskrit word. The word dh, the, or dhi, means root, tura, a root of. In the Chinese word, it's Chan. The Japanese word, it's Zen. And in the Korean word, it's Sohan. Dhyan is a single pointed, uninterrupted train of thought. contemplation and reflection. Dhyan is an ability to merge into any object, any experience, any thought, or any word single-minded. Complete focus. And in spirituality, Dhyan is an essence of all knowledge. Because Dhyan, or focus, opens the doors for our internal spiritual knowledge or our day-to-day living, how we should behave and how we should talk. Through the power of Dhyan, the choices that we make will either open the doors to happiness or profound dismay. Dhyan will cut through layers and layers of ego with the aid of meditation mantra. Vaheguru mantra in the case of Sikhism, Allah who in the case of Islam, Jesus in the case of Christianity, Ram, Ram. And it increases the power of the memory. Dhyan has been a form of meditation which has been practiced in India predating the 6th century BCE. In fact, predating Buddha and Mahavira. Mahavira was a very top saint at that time. Dhyan can also be practiced in our day-to-day living. It is actually vital to affect the quality of our life. The difference between happiness and pain, bliss or no bliss, inner harmony or chaos, all rely on the degree of the concentration. There was a saint, and he was going through town with his disciples. As he was going through the marketplace, he observes a man had just purchased a cow and was trying to drag his cow by a rope. And the cow refused to move, pulling the man in the opposite direction. And there was this struggle going on between the two. The man pulling at the cow and the cow pulling at the man, and they were refusing to budge. The saint looked at his disciple and said, "Son, can you tell me who is holding on to whom? Is the man holding on to the cow or is the cow holding on to the man?" One disciple replied, "Because the man is holding the rope and the cow is bound to the man, it stands to reason that the man is the master." The saint asked the same question to all his disciples, and they all replied in the same manner. The saint took a scissors. He went over to the rope and he cut the rope in the middle, and immediately the cow escaped. And there was no struggle. The struggle stopped. No struggle for the man, no struggle for the cow. The saint turned around and said, "Son, now who is holding on to who? Who is the master and who is the slave?" The disciple went quiet. Neither the man was holding on to the cow, nor the cow held by the man. There was no master, there was no slave. It was a rope that had bound the two together. In a similar way, our emotions are not the slaves of our mind. Our mind is not the slave of our emotion. It is our focus, our dhyan, that connects the two together. And that connection of our dhyan creates a struggle between the two. And in whichever emotion we put our focus and pay attention to, that emotion will become stronger. And the manifestation of that emotion will begin to develop, resulting in physical experiences connecting to these emotions. As an example, take the emotion of greed. When we pay focus to greed, it will manifest itself as selfishness, anger, jealousy, and it will breed an unhealthy, competitive mind. And one thing we have to be very careful and aware of, we live in the fourth yug, which is known as Kal Yug. Kal Yug meaning ignorance, stubbornness, dark, human erratic nature. There is no divinity. There is hypocrisy, much, much, much failure in society. There are no standards in society by large. And there is so much distraction in Kal Yuga. And Dhyan in Kal Yuga is a very important tool. If we focus too much in the glitz and the glamour of this illusion that we see, what illusion is that? My family, my children, my husband, my wife, my friends, my this, my that. That is an illusion. Understand one thing, that all these relationships will give you temporary happiness, but ultimately immense pain, because everybody can and will let you down at some point. Everything around us is designed to disturb our peace of mind. And when we focus too much onto these imaginary illusions of our dependency, then we will become unstable. There is only one divine power which is stable, nothing else. So, if we wish to be happy, then it's important that we make those right decisions. Choose what is best for your spiritual and physical welfare. Choosing the right focus is vital. In any aspect, what we eat, how we talk, how we behave, any aspect, having focus on yourself is important. However, the majority sleep in the slumber of Kali Yuga. And through default, our mindset is always just negative, always negative. We are never happy with what we have. Our whole focus has a negative disposition. And as a consequence, we walk and experience a path of emotional pain. We pine for those things that we do not have, and yet there is so much beauty around us, and we cannot see it. Our expectations on others, our so-called friends, whatever and whoever surrounds us in life will one day disappoint us. This we must understand if you really want to go towards happiness, spiritual bliss, and a happy life. Equally, negative and positive emotions become an inseparable part of life. These emotions follow each other like day and night. However, divine teachings will give us an understanding that an experience in itself is neither good nor bad. It's neutral. There is no such thing as good experience or bad experience. These emotions arise from our focus, our perceptions, arising from the experience of that emotion that determine its impact on us. So whatever our perception is regarding an experience will affect our emotion. That could be positive, that could be negative. If we understand the teachings of the divine, then we do not need to be at the mercy of our emotions. And this is the challenge we all face. Having a right focus. Focus creates awareness. Awareness creates perceptions. Perceptions create our reality. Reality creates our destiny, our future. And that decides whether our life is going to be a life of happiness or pain. And in divine terms, Dhyan simply means to eliminate those distractions which is preventing this beautiful divine beings that we are to shine. Everybody makes mistakes. However, the wise will learn from the result of their mistakes. And they grow from those mistakes towards freedom. But for the unwise, we have an experience, then we still focus on that experience. We're still focusing on that experience. We are not budging away from that experience. And by God, some people are stuck in that for years and years and years. Somebody did this to me at such and such a time, and they can't overcome it. And this becomes a noise, a disturbance in their head. And they become prisoners of pain in their own mind. Remember one thing, focus is addictive. Food, exercise for those who exercise, spirituality, doing good, helping society, wherever you focus, the more you focus, the stronger that addiction. And it's not possible to have a positive life if our focus is on the negative side. The world that we're attached to simply fills our minds with negative thoughts. When's the last time we sat down in that company which is inspiring and uplifting, where you can feel the divinity inside you, where you can feel that you are free from all these negative emotions, that you're happy? And that nothing anybody can do or say will make you unhappy. When was that feeling we had last time? That's Sangat, the company of wrong people. And we're just getting fed negativity, negativity upon negativity. However, in this world, we have to live. I remember once I asked my spiritual teacher, maybe going back 25 years, and he was meditating and there was a whole lot of chaos outside. And he did not even budge, not even flicker his eyelid. And I'm sitting and I'm getting quite annoyed by this noise. When he pulled himself out of meditation, I said, Babaji, could you tell me, how can you possibly meditate with all this noise? And he looked at me and he said, son, that is what meditation is. Meditation is not sitting quietly away from society. You have to live in society. You have to be a productive member of society. And at the same time, you have to meditate whilst living in the chaos of life. How? I asked. He said, be attentive, be alert, keep your focus. Focus on the words of the divine. Live, breathe, dream on the mantra. In this way, the mantra will soak into you. And this divinity can be experienced in the nature around us. When you go out into nature, it's absolutely amazing, beautiful. You can feel this focus of nature on the divine. The galaxies, the solar systems, all remain lovingly focused on that divine power. Khanda Brahmanda Rahya Levalaye. Khand, the galaxies, Brahmanda, the solar systems, all focused on that one divine. So be attentive to nature around us. But we get up in the morning in an inattentive manner, totally unfocused, and we carry on with life. And therefore, the same old problems seem to haunt us, same old issues in life. And all it needed was a paradigm shift of your focus from this side to that side. That's all it needed. And yet, rather than making this effort of changing, we are happy by being plagued by these emotions, the pain, the trauma it causes us. So actively choose to practice good focus. It's practice. We have to practice. And as long as we live in the physical world, we are likely to experience all emotions to varying degrees: happiness, sadness, loneliness, frustration, anger, jealousy. These emotions will just flow seamlessly into and out of each other. Call this a universal law of human existence. Call this a karmic footprint. However, if we can focus on the teachings of the divine masters who have achieved that level of stability, then we can learn to transcend the opposites and rise above our emotions, beyond into the arena of what is known as Nejkar. Nejkar mehel pao sukh sehje bahur na hoye go fera. A balanced state of our inner being, a most sublime place for a spiritualist to be in. One thing we should understand: the duality of our emotions may appear very real in our life, in our physical realm that we exist in. Yet, there is no law of polarity. These emotions do not exist in the spiritual realm. People that live in this illusion lives with this deception. The one who has actually risen above this illusion and lives in the realms of spirituality, there is no polarity there. In the spiritual realm, all is one. Pain, gain, loss, everything is all one. Dukh, sukh, all one. And how do we go to that realm? By accessing our higher self through meditation, through sangat, company of the enlightened, through our spiritual teachings, through our day-to-day conducts, to focus on our thoughts, our words, our feelings, the way we interact with people. And mantra. These are the roots for a higher development into the higher self. The divine universal mind does not distinguish between good or bad, wrong or right, happy or sad. It is all one. And you know why? Because once you go into the spiritual realm, you simply become an eternal observer. You are no longer part of this play. You are no longer part of this pain. You are now an observer. When one connects with the divine, one will simply become an observer. And even when things seem to go disastrously wrong, one will simply be focused on their mantra, on the way they behave, the way they talk. They understand that they belong to the divine. They are not puppets of Kali Yuga. They are not the puppets of Kali Yuga. They belong to the divine, and they simply become observers. We are all part of this one divine. We are the soul that belongs to the divine. We are not puppets of our emotions. If we can understand who we belong to, we will find our peace. But we are like lost children. We jump from one relationship to another and trying to find some sense of belonging. It will not work. It will not work. If you see the lotus flower, it lives in the murkiest of waters. And the murkier, the dirtier the water, the stronger the stem, the more beautiful that flower. So living in this chaos of life, if we can understand how to live in this chaos of life, we will become absolutely beautiful like the fragrance of a rose. And when we become an observer in the chaos of life, we will achieve stillness of mind. We will understand the illusions of the world. We will begin to concentrate on the positive. We will begin to concentrate on the divine. We will begin to concentrate on our Shabd mantra, which is absolutely vital. Mantra means the tool of the mind. Mantra, I cannot underestimate how important mantra is. So in essence, focus on your inner divine light. You're all beautiful. You all have divinity inside you. Why do we choose to live a life of pain and aggression? When we know who we are, we know what our capabilities are. Focus on positive growth. How? By keeping good company around you. Focus on your meditation, your mantra. Focus on the beauty of nature. Look around. Balehari kodrat vasya thirayantana jai lakhya. The divine exists in this nature. And look how beautiful it is. The moon, the sun, the mountains, the oceans, the trees, everything is absolutely amazing. And it's there to give us peace of mind. It's there to connect us. And then come together. Too much hostility in life. Concentrate on unity. Concentrate on one love. Concentrate as being members of the one divine family. Do not let interpretations split you. And let's begin to share our love, and let's begin to shine, and let's just find our happiness that we all deserve, that we all need, and that is what is within us and we can achieve. Thank you.